Available inventory of unsold single-family homes on the market continues to climb at its fastest clip all year. The total count of unsold single-family homes grew by 9,000 this week, which is very unusual for this late in the year. We have at least 2 more weeks of inventory growth. It's quite notable that inventory growth is from weaker homebuyer demand, weaker than normal homebuyer demand, but that we still don't have a surge of sellers. The question is whether we will see inventory grow in November, which would be unheard of, and would be a notable bearish indicator for home prices in 2024. Inventory is climbing with slow homebuyer demand, and there are some bearish signals for home prices developing right now as well. This week, Thursday, October 19th at 10 a.m. Pacific is our monthly webinar. A lot of people have been asking lately is if we see a rate drop in 2024, like maybe through some big Fed changes, if that might result in a pent-up group of sellers flooding the market. We're going to make sure to spend some time on that question on Thursday. Also, if you're asking yourself about home prices in 2024, or will next year be finally the year we finally see inventory build, or how to talk to home buyers and sellers right now who are on the fence, these are all topics we cover. As always, we'll dive into the local markets. If you were at my keynote last week at the HousingWire annual conference, I shared some of the local markets that are under the most pressure now. And we'll have time for that in the webinar, too, on Thursday. All this is what we cover each month in these monthly webinars. And there's a link to register for that in the description below. Click that to save your spot because these are limited to 1,000 attendees each month, and we always have way more than that who want to join. You can still reserve your spot for this Thursday, October 19th at 10 a.m. Pacific. There's a link below. Click that now, register. At Altos Research, of course, we track every home for sale in the country every week. We track all the pricing, all the supply and demand, all the changes in that data, and we make it so that you can understand what's happening immediately as it happens in the market. We make the data available far before you see it in the traditional channels. This market is getting very scary for would-be participants, and the data is the antidote to that fear. So I'm Mike Simonsen. I'm the founder of Altos. Let's look at the data for the week of October 16th, 2023. There are now 546,000 single-family homes unsold on the market. That's up 1.8% from last week, and a big jump for any month of October. Inventory growth hasn't shown any sign of slowing yet for the year. Last year, as the market slowed in the fourth quarter, the number of homes for sale grew to the last week of October. You'd expect inventory to fall in November as new listings decline for the holidays. And, even if a home isn't sold yet, it gets withdrawn from the market. Many get withdrawn from the market in November. So in this chart, we see the dark red line is for this year, and it's still climbing. Inventory is still climbing. And could even overtake last year's inventory levels in November. Every other year, inventory is falling. You can see every other year on this chart, inventory is falling in November. This is really a reflection of how very few home buyers right now. Mortgage rates are still hovering around 8%. Maybe they're off a fraction from their absolute peak a week ago, but home buyers are waiting to see if affordability improves before making offers. The new listings volume is running even lower than last year. 57,000 new listings hit the market this week, plus another 10,000 which listed and then went into contract immediately. That's the fewest immediate sales in a week since January, and fewer immediate sales than last October as well. The sales rate is running fewer than last year too. Although, last year the sales rate was actually declining more quickly. The market at this time last year was still shedding momentum from the first half of the year. So the sales rate this year has been slow all year and is slowing slowly now. This is a view here of the home sales that are in the contract pending stage. Homes that are in contract now are sales that will close in November mostly. There are 326,000 single-family homes in contract now. That's a fraction fewer than last week and 7% fewer in contract now than last year at this time. There were just 52,000 new contracts this week, which is 6% fewer than last year. There are 30% more sales each week in 2021, which is crazy to think about how dramatically different the market is now. In this chart, the height of each bar is the total count of those homes in contract in a given moment. This is single-family homes specifically here. The light portion of each bar are the new contracts each week. So you can read this as the sales, which will close 30 days in the future. This chart is where you see the decline. Last year in the sales volume was much steeper than it is now. Last year is in the middle of this chart here. And compared to 2021, during the pandemic, the sales volume hadn't slowed at all into the fourth quarter. So now the height of each bar is lower. There are fewer sales overall, but the decline is slower. So I guess that's a good thing. As long as mortgage rates, though, stay up here hovering around 8%, there are just no signs of the sales volume improving again. Not yet. Meanwhile, the homes that are on the market are getting fewer offers each week. Those that haven't sold are reducing their prices. Currently, over 38% of the homes on the market have taken price cuts from their original list price. The normal level of price cuts in a market is more like 35% this time of year. So this measure shows that demand is slower than normal and that there are downward pressures on sales prices over the next couple of months. But it is notable that last year price reductions were over 42%. So there were more last year. They were happening faster. And after this point last year, home sales prices dipped in the few months before recovering mid 2023. So what does that say about home prices now? Well, home prices across all measures of market activity are, for example, the active market, the new listings, the pending sales, they're all up about 1 to 3% over last year, depending on how you look at it. And because home prices were falling at this point last year, we expect that home price appreciation, 1 to 3%, will hold through the end of the year. The median price of single-family homes in the U.S. is $439,000 now, compared with $430,000 last year at this time, when prices were falling pretty consistently. So you can see the red line in this chart, the prices were falling pretty consistently last year and much more slowly adjusting this year. The price of the new listings this week was $398,900, which is up a touch from last week and up a couple percent from last year. Last year at this time, we expected 2023 to finish with slightly negative home price change, but now we can see that we'll end slightly positive home price change for the year. The leading indicators for future home sales prices right now are not as bearish as they were last year at this time. The surprise in the data that led us to be too bearish in our home price forecast for 2023 was how quickly home buyers responded in the peak demand months of 2023, March through June, to even slightly improved mortgage rates. Rates dropped just a bit, demand picked up, we had more demand than supply, and prices reversed upward. So if you're formulating your home price appreciation hypothesis for 2024, it'll hinge on where you think interest rates go in Q1 next year. We will spend much more time on this on Thursday in the webinar, Thursday, October 19th. If you're trying to stay on the top of the market, you should definitely join us. There's a registration link in the description below. Click that to join us Thursday. There's so much signal in the active market, and these market conditions now change so quickly in this post-pandemic world. The signals are slow now, of course, but they can change fast. And so if you need to help buyers and sellers understand the housing market, help them make decisions, go to altosresearch.com and book a free consult with our team. A lot of folks have the same big questions in their mind right now. So we'll help you talk about the market with your clients and prospects today. There's a link in the description below as well for that. All right, more next week. Thanks.